Live from Radio Row at the beautiful Mandalay Casino and Resort at Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, it's the Geary, Stein, and Steven Show with your co-host, Troy Geary. And yes, even Will Stein is here. And of course, your host, fresh off his one-man, legless tribute to Elvis Presley, the hardest working man in show business this week, Dave Stevens.
Now, I'm deaf in my right ear, and I can barely hear it on my left, so...
All right, here we are again at Radio Row. Dave Stevens here with Troy and all the gang, and this place is packed. We are just up to our noses in stars and celebrities and coaches, and I've got a great one here for to talk about two great coaches here. Rob Ryan, who's in the NFL. You're with the Raiders now.
Yeah, I'm still with the Raiders. Yep.
So tell us what that's been like in this hometown.
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, I had my first stint was in Oakland for 5 years when I worked for the great Al Davis and 4 head coaches, but I was D coordinator then. Now I'm a little older. Now I'm senior assistant, but working for AP and so happy that he's our head coach, and he really did a great job setting the tone for us, and great things are ahead for sure for our team, and we're looking forward to playing and competing and beating Kansas City and the Chargers and the Broncos.
And we've got also an old friend of the show joining us, sitting next to him, of course, Rob Mendez. Coach Rob, this was from Los Angeles last year. It's great to see you and have you here. So what has life been like for you the last year?
I've been getting my tan on down in San Diego by the beaches. And no, I'm just kidding. You know what? We just finished the season, and I've really kind of just appreciated finding a best friend. I have a girlfriend. We've been dating for a little over a year now, and I instead of watching ESPN or NFL Network, I'm hanging out, going to the farmers market, or so it's been a great off season, and I'm really enjoying my downtime with my girlfriend.
And Rob, it's awesome to see the perspective of two coaches that can make an impact. What do you think of when you see a guy like Rob who's just giving his all to be a coach?
Well, I know this about Rob. I mean, he's one of the best offensive minds around. So we don't get along that well because I'm straight defense. But everybody knows Rob. I mean, he's done an amazing job. He's cutting edge offensive guy, and it's funny how we were talking earlier today about Rob trying to establish more two-back offense than all these other guys are spreading it out. It is pretty unique.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the inspiration from Juszczyk really, grinding it out and being the lead blocker for McCaffrey, but I think it just fit well with our offense, and I really want to go back to that ground and pound offense. It worked well with our play action as well. So thanks, Coach.
Well, the ground and pound. That's what the Ryans do as head coach. Rex made that famous out there with the Jets, but it is pretty cool.
Like how we were talking about earlier, managing the game, I learned over the years, is the most important thing. So the W, we're trying to get the W through managing.
Yeah, that's amazing. One other thing I know, Rob's a student of the game, and we're talking about, every time you always try to learn something every day. And I heard this one, and it's strange because I've never heard this before. Andy Reid, the first thing Andy Reid puts in when his first day install is 2 minutes. Have you ever heard that? It's unbelievable.
No, I mean, I guess you start fast. Just like when you're working out, a lot of people start out, pumping iron and doing a bunch of push-ups and pull-ups. But I like that because a lot of the times we get so focused on just our base offense that we run out of time, especially us high school coaches. As you know, we only have such a limited time. I didn't know that. So I hope he doesn't run the 2-minute on us on the Niners. And I really hope Coach Shanahan can out-scheme him this week. But I love Andy Reid from back in Philly, and he's doing a great job here in KC now.
Yeah, he really is. He's something else. But, you always wonder why Patrick Mahomes is so great in 2 minutes. I mean, they've done it more than base offense, so it's unbelievable.
Okay, Coach Ryan, I want to ask you about your nonprofit you started, TKO. Can you kind of a little talk about that, what it helps, and who it supports?
Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate the time. My wife started the Backwards K Project, which is athletes against child trafficking. And it's big, especially in San Diego and Las Vegas. I mean, it's really everywhere. But she wanted to combine all the sports. So football, fighting, basketball. We got a backwards K for everything. So I got TKO for the fighters, the backwards K for guys that strike out people in baseball, or our San Diego Padres. I don't know what the heck's going on with them, but we've got every sport covered, and we're trying to link them all together from the nuts and bolts of it. So it takes everybody, and there's such a great fan base, with sports. I mean, you have so many people involved in that, and if everybody can get behind this. We want to have all the sports and the people behind one banner, the backwards K, and we've got Sabrina Nescu, the basketball player. We got her. We got all my football guys for the Raiders. They didn't have a choice, but we're just going to keep growing this and fight it because it really the backwards K. What's unique about that is we've got from the nuts and bolts. We've got the education of the kids. We've got the identifying where the problems are, whether it be from the internet or other places. We've got the people that actually go in and rescue, and then we also have the people that rehab these kids. So it's a great program. Hopefully somebody gets a chance to look it up. We've actually got an auction for the Super Bowl. It ends. The coolest stuff around is on that auction on that website. So if they get a chance, Backwards K project, Athletes Against Child Trafficking. Please take a look. It's great cause. And thanks for the time. We really appreciate that.
Oh, no,
I got one last football-related question. You being a defensive guy, what is one key for both teams on both sides of the ball defensively that's going to help them to win the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Well, I tell you what, with Patrick Mahomes, we were the last team to beat Kansas City. So – oh yeah, on Christmas Day it was great when bah humbug to those Chiefs fans, but it was we had to disguise. We have to do a great job of disguising your intentions because you're not only playing against Patrick Mahomes, you're playing against Andy Reid, and if they get a pulse on you, you're in big trouble. And then you have to do an unbelievable job of rushing the passer because he makes so many plays, extending the plays, with his feet. He's so amazing to do that. And we had Max Crosby and the boys. I think he ran for like 2 miles that day. We were chasing so much. So you have to be able to put heat on, which, Coach San Francisco can do that, especially if they get the lead. But again, lots to be said with the disguise of coverage. And then on defense, Steve Spagnuolo is one of the best for Kansas City. So he's got to do a great job of stopping that running game of San Francisco. And you know how they do. They got so many motions and shifts, and you never know where the ball's going. But if they're moving, you better be moving because if you're not, they're going to get an angle on you and run the ball on you. So, they got so many weapons and talented players. It's going to be a great chess match. I can't wait to watch it.
Well, Rob, look, I don't even have to ask you just by your hat wearing a prediction, but you give us a little insight on what your thoughts are about who's going to win.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs are in our division. They're at our facility, so I can't pick them. So I had to go San Francisco because I have to.
Let's go. Let's say 20-14 Niners take the under. I think what the over-under is 47.5. But Coach is right. I think whoever gets to the quarterback better and really just kind of plays to their strengths. I really hope that we run the ball. I know that everybody understands that we got a strong run game, but I just feel like whenever you go into these great games, you stay consistent. You also play to your strengths. And I'm really hoping that we can run the ball. But I really do feel like there's going to be a moment where I'm not sure if Brock Purdy is going to be throwing like 30 passing attempts, but there's going to be one big play off the play action. And I feel like that's going to be the X factor. Hopefully it's not like 4 years ago when we missed Emmanuel Sanders. And maybe that was our missing piece, a quarterback. And as much as I love Jimmy for what he did, I know that Brock is putting up numbers. I mean, let's just keep it real. If Brock had the flashiness that Joe Burrow had and the uniqueness, I guess the mobility, I think he would be talked about a little bit differently. But the numbers are there. I mean, 2021, I think they're very comparable, Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy. So I think if we stay strong in the run game, but we pick the pass plays at the right time, I mean, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, right? No pun intended, but at the same time.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us here on Radio Row. Taking a little time with Troy and I, and we appreciate it. And we'll be talking a little more later for Rob. You are such an inspiration, and it's just been great to know you and see you. And again, I don't I don't look at you as not having arms and legs. I look at you as a football mind, and I would be excited if we can get involved with your camps and do something more, again, showcasing what can be done rather than talking about what can't be done. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Robert.
And you're an inspiration as well. You know that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Here on Radio Row, Troy and I are going to take a quick break, and we will be back in just a little bit with, I don't know, people are coming up left and right. So you are watching Geary, Stein, and Stevens live from Radio Row at Mandalay Bay.
Oh, you took a lot.
Thank you for watching the Geary, Stein, and Stevens show from Super Bowl 58. You can watch all of the episodes at yourhometv.com or download the Your Home TV app on Roku. Follow the boys on all social media and podcast apps.